Why do conservatives always lose against these liberal leftists? Yes, it's a good and important question. I will endeavor to share some insights in this fine video. But first, a message from the sponsor of this video. If I may be so bold as to encourage everyone to head over to legiogloria.com, place an order of 2 copies of Dauntless, and then you give them away to those in need of some good enlightenment. And of course, if you haven't read it yourself, then I highly suggest that you do so. And when you're at it, do check out our new massive summer release, a lot of good linen from Lithuania, and of course we also have some merino wool from Lithuania, which I'm wearing now, by the way, since spring seems to be a bit delayed here in Sweden. So do head over to legiogloria.com and check out everything. Now, why do these conservatives lose, you might ask? Yes, we need to first discuss the capital N narrative, the narrative of the post-World War order and the moral framework. Now, I've discussed this concept quite a bit over the last while, and it's of paramount importance to understand in order to understand what is going on in the West at the moment. So, explained in the simplest way possible, we have the capital N narrative, and that says that the only way you can be a good person politically is to take up the cause of the other. So the other is anything but the straight white man. So then you can look at an ethnic minority or a sexual minority. So these are the rules of the game. And I will use an example here. We have a young man in Sweden of the moderates, Moderaterna, the moderate party here in Sweden, Benjamin Dusa. Now, I believe he's a good young man. I don't have anything against him. I believe he is ultimately a good and sensitive young man. But that being said, he's also still trapped in the mental prison of liberalism. So he wants to still play this game. So he went out a few days ago and he said, let's invite 40,000 homosexuals from Hungary to Sweden. Now, if you're a homosexual in Hungary, I don't have anything against you, and I also don't think that you're being persecuted in Hungary. I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing that Viktor Orban does not have a secret police out on the street to hunt down homosexuals. I don't think you're being persecuted in Hungary. Now then, you might ask, Sweden, at this particular moment in time when I would say perhaps most Swedes are worried for good reason about the safety of society, about the future, criminal gangs running amok, everything like that. So why does Benjamin Dusa at this particular moment in time when everyone just wants some peace and safety, so why then does he say that we need to accept 40,000 Hungarian homosexuals in Sweden? Yes, he does it because he still plays by the rules of the liberals. So the narrative that says that the only way you can be a good person is to take up the cause of the other. So he picks the oppressed minority of the homosexuals. Again, I don't think they are particularly oppressed. I don't think, again, that Orban is persecuting homosexuals in Hungary. So anyway, he does this because he still, excuse me, I don't mean any disrespect here, Benjamin Dusa, but it's a bit like a child looking to a father for approval. Who has the moral authority, the child or the father? Yes, the father. He sets the moral boundaries. He sets the narrative. He sets the moral framework. Same thing, these liberals, they have set the boundaries, they have set the moral framework, they have set the narrative. And this goes deep. You can look at basically any boomer and they will have this mindset. So you can look at someone like Putin or Dugin in Russia. 2 boomers in Russia, they still operate within the same framework, that nationalism is bad because it leads to fascism, and fascism we defeated in the Second World War, and that informs every decision they make. All of these boomers, all of these liberals. We can talk about the moderates here in Sweden, we can talk about most Republicans in the US, we can even talk about Vladimir Putin in Russia. These individuals, these conservatives, mainly boomers, it's very much a boomer thing because they've been so ingrained with the narrative that says the good guys won the Second World War, and every single step you take towards the bad guys, so every single step you take towards tradition, reactionary forces, that's a step towards evil. I explained this in my video about why Sweden is committing suicide. Yes, because no one wants to be a fascist. Same thing with these conservatives, and they're extremely sensitive. So to use an example, if you have, we're using a metaphor, so if you have, in a fight, you have a guy with a broken rib or two, his opponent, he knows He knows exactly where to punch, and he keeps punching. So you can either decide for yourself to heal your ribs and then continue to fight, or you can just keep your guard somewhere else and let the opponent keep hitting you. I don't know if that's a good example at all. It just came to me. Anyway, the point is that if you let your opponent have that advantage over you, if you still play by their rules, if you're still afraid of being called a fascist, a reactionary, whatever they might call you, they might call you a racist, whatever they might call you, if you're still afraid of it, and if you're still trying to constantly appease them, if you're still constantly trying to look towards them, looking up to them for approval, yeah, they will keep bullying you. They will keep hitting you in the weak spot. They will keep hammering, hard body shots in your ribs until you can't do anything anymore. And that is why conservatives always lose, because they still play the rules of the left. Now, speaking of, fascism and racism and everything like that, they will call you that no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do. The only way you can possibly shield yourself against this is to simply not care. Now, that being said, on a personal note, you all know this, that I'm very polite and friendly towards everyone, unless of course someone is a bad person. Then I'm not gonna be nice. So if someone calls me a racist, I will say I'm nice and friendly to everyone except unfriendly people. But I'm also not gonna care if someone calls me a racist. I'm always gonna put my own people first at all time. And then some leftist, yeah, they will call me a racist. It is what it is. I'm not gonna back down. If someone calls me a fascist, I don't really care. They can call me whatever they want. All I want is for Sweden to return to safety so that my daughters can grow up in peace. And then if that makes me something, yeah, they can call me whatever. I'm not gonna change my opinion because of it. And ultimately, I know that they're trying to bully me. They are trying to bully me. They are bullying you. So if you are a conservative, if you are in the moderate party in Sweden, if you are a Republican in the US, they are trying to bully you. They are trying to use all of these shots to make you back down. And you can't win. You can't be gooder. You can't be more good. You can't be more moral than these leftists, because they set the rules and they will call you out. They will call you out. You are for law and order. This sounds a lot like fascism. Are you a fascist? And then you will say, oh no, I'm not a fascist, please don't call me that. Then you're losing. So this is why you lose, because you're constantly afraid of their judgment, because you have given them moral authority. So simply stop caring about what they're saying. Simply stop caring about their accusations. Now, just to clarify, speaking about my own ideology, I don't have any ideology at all. I have common sense. I'm a sensible centrist. I don't adhere to any ideology. I have an identity as a European gentleman, and that informs all of my political positions. So very simple, straightforward thing. So I don't need an ideology to explain my positions. It's just common sense. I want law and order. Simple stuff. So to conclude, why do conservatives lose to these liberal leftists? Yes, because they give moral legitimacy to a narrative, to a moral framework that is very much against everything that is good, beautiful and natural in the world. So they can't win and still be good liberals. So the only way you can win as a conservative is if you stop playing their game, if you stop looking to them for moral approval. They are not your father. You don't need to appease them. You don't need to be bullied by them. You can just say, call me whatever you want, I still have my principles. You still have your principles. You do enjoy law and order and beauty, tradition, everything like that. It doesn't make you a bad person. And if someone tries to, put opinions on you, then you can just say, no, this is not what I think. Here are my opinions, no matter what you call me. So, new narrative is in place, new moral framework is in place. I am the moral authority now. It comes from above, it comes from the divine. And I say that the moral authority is to care about your family, your nation, about law and order, common sense. That is the new narrative. So goodbye to the boomer narrative. It's gone now. You don't need to look towards it for moral approval. You need to look towards me and everyone who says like me that law and order is back on the menu, boys. So hopefully that explains everything, and thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Do check out all the links in the description box below. If you're watching this on YouTube, legiogloria.com. If you are in good old Sweden, jotunheimnutrition.se. You can also check out jotunheimnutrition.com, and of course my homepage, thegoldenone.se. XOXO, boom!